Hi, I'm Cassie, and this is what I call collecting coins badly. Because the way that I collect coins is not the way that people imagine coin collectors working. And one of the things that I am willing to do is I will handle my coins. A lot of collectors won't let you do that, but I am a teacher and my background is in history, so I really enjoy people being able to actually experience the past, and being able to handle these coins is one way of doing that. My second point that leads from that is that I need to have coins that are cheap enough I'm comfortable doing that. All of the coins that I'm going to show today are less than $30, and most of them are less than $15. And the third thing that I do is that I'm very random about my coins. A lot of collectors want one of every type of coin. So they want every Lincoln Head penny that's ever been made from every single year, which I feel is like collecting Pokemon cards, that you have to have all of them. And I'd rather just have a selection of the coins that I think are really cool. And when I say cool, the first thing that I mean is in fact really old. This, for example, is the coin that got me interested in coin collecting, and it wasn't originally mine. It was my brother's. My grandfather tried getting him into coin collecting, and he collected the penny sets and the quarters and whatnot, and he was about 8 years old, and he got bored with it, and so he spent the pennies and the quarters. But this particular coin is Byzantine. It's 1,000 years old. So my mom took it, and then eventually I got it from my mom, and I'm like, that's really cool having 1,000-year-old coin. Even though if you take a look at it, it is super ugly, but it's still 1,000-year-old ugly coin. I'm also interested if a coin has some sort of historical significance. For example, this one I bought, it's about 200 years old, and it has Napoleon on it. Now I realize that most people think 200 years is pretty old already, but again, my background is even older stuff. But we've all heard of Napoleon. Another one that I like is this one of Catherine the Great. I didn't actually realize it was Catherine the Great until after I bought it. I bought it because I really liked the design on it. They've been using the double-headed eagle for a very long time. But then she's got her initials on the other side of the coin, as well as the date, 1767, which is the time that Catherine the Great was in charge of Russia. I'm not interested in a lot of American coins, but this one I really like because it's called a trime, and it's worth 3 cents. It's also tiny. It's about 13 millimeters in diameter. And the reason it even exists is because for some reason we felt that we needed a coin that would buy a postage stamp, and postage stamps were 3 cents at the time. Now, this was just before the Civil War. The Civil War broke out, and everyone started hoarding medals. So the coins disappeared. And what came in its place was fractional currency. And I don't have any fractional currency because it's not a coin. It's paper money. But it's paper money that's worth less than $1. And they had a 3-cent bill. It was the size of a business card. And as you might imagine, everybody hated them. So when the war was over, they went back to putting out metal money, except for the 3-cent piece, they didn't do it in silver this time. They did it in copper and nickel. It's actually mostly copper, but it looks nickel, and so it became known as the 3-cent nickel. Right there. That is Lady Liberty on the front, and the Roman numeral 3 on the back. And of course that confuses people because we think nickel means 5-cent piece. That's a nickname that we have for them. Officially, they're called 5-cent pieces. We've just nicknamed them nickels. But the 3-cent nickel existed before the 5-cent nickel. Also, in the same vein, penny is not an official term either. Officially, our pennies are 1-cent pieces. Penny is a nickname that we borrowed from the British. Their 1 pence piece is officially called a penny, and we just continued using it. Is not all of them around. For example, there's this one that comes from World War I in Germany. It's not technically a coin because it's not federal money. They were running out of money. The government couldn't print the money fast enough because of inflation. And so there was local currency. It's known as Notgeld. which officially wasn't money, but was being traded as if it was money. And some of it was round, and some of it was various other shapes, like this one. Another shape that you can sometimes find is diamonds. This one is Dutch. It comes from somewhere between the 1920s and the 1950s. Most coins do have dates on them, but for whatever reason, that one isn't. There's also this square one, which is more not geld. It is another one of those coins that is not technically money. And then finally, one of the reasons that I will collect coins is just because they're shiny and pretty. There's a lot of Victorian coins that I have because of how attractive, particularly the reverses, are. This one is from the late 1800s, and it's a florin. It's a silver coin, and this is what the back looks like. And it has nice toning to it. That is, the recesses of the coin have some tarnish in them, which makes a nice contrast with the silver of the coin. Now, the other side of the coin is far less attractive, unfortunately. There's Queen Victoria. But that side of the coin, the impression is not as deep, and so it will wear down more quickly than the back does. Now you may be wondering, how can I afford these coins? How did I end up with a Byzantine coin, for example? Because my grandfather bought it for an 8-year-old, and he's not going to buy something that expensive for a kid who may easily lose it on the way to show and tell at school. I'm guessing that coin was probably $5 or $10. My oldest coins are actually Roman, so they are 2,000 years old. Here's one. And this one cost me about $10. And the reason that you can get these coins so affordably is the number of coins that are put out, even in ancient times. Now, at various times they are melting down the coins, and that makes it more difficult, obviously, to find coins. And it depends on, for example, the size of the country, because that will reflect how many coins they're putting out. But for Rome, Rome is around for 500 years. It covers most of Europe. A mint can put out thousands of coins a day. So you have an immense number of coins that were originally created. And even though a tiny percentage of them survived till today, that's still a lot of coins. One of the other things that makes a coin valuable is the condition that it's in. And so really fancy coins can go hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. But for the Roman coin, for example, he's pretty worn down. Originally, you would have been able to see strands of hair, for example. He would have had a defined face. But I'm perfectly happy with my $10 coin. And it is detailed enough that you can make out it's clearly a face. You can read the writing around it. I know that this is Emperor Gratian, for example. It's written right on the coin. If you're okay with coins that are less than perfect, you can find a lot of really affordable ones. This is another example. This is called a large cent. It is an American coin. It is a 1-cent piece, what we commonly call a penny. That comes from, this one is 1847. And that's got all sorts of detail in it. It's a really nice looking coin, except for that scratch that goes down the right side of this coin. You can get these for hundreds of dollars. You can get decent ones for $20 or $30, but because there's a scratch on this coin, I got this coin for $8. I got it at a coin show, and it wasn't even in a protective case or anything. It was just in a bin of coins, and everything in that bin was $8. Now, if you go to a coin shop or a coin show, a lot of times places will have these bins of cheap coins. And they might be for, if you want modern foreign coins, you can get them maybe for 25 cents a piece. And while I say modern, some of them can go back several decades. And then you may have bins that are a little more money, but you know, I got this coin, it is 150 years old, for $8. So this is the end of my introduction to coin collecting. I'm hoping that I can give some people some ideas on where they can affordably start collecting coins, and I wish you all good luck.